Content's hot. You get to give me all you got.
Hello, everyone. Welcome to the Reeshard Travel Live Show. New day and time. Hopefully everyone's doing well today. We have a packed schedule of guests, videos, all kinds of great stuff going on tonight. I'm so excited to be with you. Thanks for joining me. Any new people coming into the chat, thank you for watching. Welcome back, Australia. I think this time may actually work out pretty well for the Aussies. Unfortunately, UK, we're kind of doing it. I think it's 4 a.m. their time. So apologize for the timing, guys. I had to sort of switch it to a time where I was more alert. I'll tell you, those 7 a.m. Live shows on Saturdays were killing me slowly. So had to change it up, had to do what's right for myself. So hopefully this kind of works well for everyone. We may have to kind of slowly pivot into this time, but I love it because you know why? I can have an adult beverage. Yes, that's right. It's on now. Adult beverage time. Everyone cheers to everyone that's on the evening time. For those that are in Australia joining us, cheers to you as well. Yeah, that's a lot better than matcha green tea. Awesome. So I want to say thank you to the moderators today. Joining us today, we have Kevin from 30 and a Wake Up. So excited to talk to Kevin. It's been a long time coming. He's been in the schedule for a while. I'm so excited to talk to him about a variety of topics. So you may see the van in the background. That's part of what he was focused on his channel for a little while, van life. So we're going to talk through all the different genres that makes up his channel today and what's made it up in the past. And we'll kind of talk through that, have a great conversation. But one interesting thing that's happening with Kevin coming on today is we have a lot of moms in the chat. So yeah, my mom in there. And I heard little birdie told me maybe Kevin's mom is in the chat. So I would say, I know you guys are good at saying hello to Richard's mom. I would say hello to Kevin's mom tonight, because I think she may be joining us. Everyone say hello to her. I'm sure she'd love to see that. So a lot of pressure on me. And, you know, I think that we may be having like John 555's mom join as well. John 555 Thailand was on my live show a couple months ago, and his mom was in the chat and left me a nice comment. So I think she's a fan of the show. So she may be joining us. So John 555 mom, if you're in the chat, hello, welcome back. So great. So this may be a loud live stream because we have Friday night in San Francisco. Cue the sirens, right? So if you hear stuff in the background, I'm okay. It's just a Friday night in the city. So before we get started, I want to kind of go through some housekeeping real quick. The Saturday live show is copyright protected against use by any third parties unless approval is provided by the Reeshard Travel Show. To kind of go through the exchange rate here for Thailand, you'll see that down below. Feel free to take a look at that. I'm going to welcome in the live chat because we got so many great people coming in today. I want to go all the way back up to the top here. So we had some people that came in. I want to say hello, a special hello to Rachel, who may be enjoying a beverage at home while she's watching the live show tonight. So she had left a comment on one of my previous videos saying, looking forward to tonight's live show. I may be enjoying an adult beverage. So cheers to you, Rachel. Enjoy one with you. Very good. All right, let's go up here and see who we got in the live chat. Got a lot of people coming in. Thank you, everyone, for piling in here. I didn't know if we'd get people here on a Friday night. Got Mr. Mitch. I am old too, Go More Hike, he says. Luis, hello to you. Michael, hello, welcome, welcome, welcome. Thailand Elite and Retirement Visa Specialist. That is Haley. So good evening, Richard. Good morning, Kevin. Nice to have you here, Haley. That's awesome. Kevin saying hello to everyone. Go More Hike is telling us what time it is in Alabama, a little bit later on the East Coast there. Baldy Brian in Thailand, nice to see you in the live chat as well. Gomer Hike, I feel like he's always sleeping. It could be the morning time or the evening time. He likes his sleep. Dave from Gotta Love Thailand YouTube channel. Nice to see you in there, man. Saying hello to Baldy Brian. That's great. We got Ian in New Zealand saying hello, guys. Nice to have you in here, Ian. I guess it's probably about afternoon time for you there. Nice to see you. Gotta Love Thailand. Dave saying hello to me. Got Chris in there. Brian Flowers saying good morning, all. Tommy J, the producer of the show, saying hello to everyone. Going Green Mom, good morning, afternoon, and night. Nice to have you in the chat. Got some new faces in here. Travel Eats. Awesome. That's really nice. Okay, so I will let you know as I'm going through this. I'll come back to the chat here. I want to kind of stay on schedule. We got a packed schedule today. Got a lot of stuff going on. So one of the things, we got to talk through this, the live show time. We do have a secret guest coming on today. So stay tuned. Before 30 and a wake up, we got a secret guest coming on. Who could that be? Well, I'm full of surprises tonight, guys. I'm awake. I'm ready to go. I got an adult beverage with me here, so things are good. Before we get to our special guest, though, I want to tell you that, man, who else has news fatigue? My gosh. I just am getting tired of watching the news, reading the news. It's information overload at this point, regarding travel news. When can we get to Thailand without a quarantine? What's going on domestically in the news? It's a bit much, guys. I'm definitely getting a little lost in all the news stories. I was just listening to the Tiger news before I came on. I'm just thinking like, wow, it's just a little bit of a downer there with a lot of the news. So I almost feel like I need to unplug from the news and not watch for a little bit because it's getting a little nuts. It's nothing but bad news. We got forest fires here in California, which is where I am. So it's not a good thing. I have 4 air purifiers going in my apartment to try to keep the air clean. So it's like waging war against the air quality here in San Francisco. I wanted to say thank you for last week's super chats and super stickers. So those individuals that contributed last week, what's up, Pattaya, Francis McCaffrey, Daystate Fox, and Jeff Malone. I appreciate that very much. I will let you know one thing you may be seeing in the live chat is, so I've disabled the super chats and super stickers. Why is that, Richard? So I'll tell you this. So this is a little bit of a loaded question and answer in that when I first started getting super chats and super stickers, I was blown away. I thought it was great. It was kind of like a pat on the back for me, like, hey, you're doing a great job, enjoying the show, this kind of thing. And I loved it. And now it's kind of morphed into like maybe some individuals super chatting so they can get a mention on the show, maybe some free publicity advertising. One of the things I like to do is I like to recommend channels that I'm familiar with that I really enjoy watching. So I want to be kind of impartial in that. I want to make sure that the channels I'm recommending on my show are channels that I've vetted, I enjoy watching. So I guess for a little while, we're going to just disable the super stickers, save your money, put it back in your pocket, maybe go take your mom out for something special, take her out to a breakfast or a lunch and use your money for that. So enough said there. So that will actually be turned off for a little while. So the big news for this week, I felt like, was Retired Life Problems is now back to Chocolate Man in Thailand. I couldn't believe it. So I thought what I would do is put together this cool little intro, kind of a tribute for the Chocolate Man in Thailand, because, that's kind of a bold move. He went from Chocolate Man in Thailand to Retired Life Problems, now back to Chocolate Man in Thailand. I thought this would be great to do a little tribute for him. James Casino, my special guest of the live show. Welcome.
What's up, everybody?
Yeah, nice to see you. Nice to see you. You're looking pretty cool, like very Matrix-like, I think, with those sunglasses on.
It's how I roll, baby. It's how I roll.
Yeah, I mentioned that Matrix because the trailer just came out recently for the new one, and it was mostly filmed in San Francisco. I'm quite excited about that.
Yeah, it looks good. Looks good. I think it's going to be a good movie.
So, James, the $1 million question here is, why the name change back to Chocolate Man?
Well, let's see. I got this email from Obama. Yeah, man. He's like, yo, hey, no offense there, Casino, but Retired Life Problems really doesn't work for you. You should really change your name back. Yeah. change it back. And I'm like, nah, man, I don't know what you're talking about, Obama, but no. Now, the reality is, I mean, I just looked at the numbers. It was it. It's really that simple. You look at the numbers, the analytics on YouTube, it tells you straight up, hey, this ain't working or this is working. You know, if you follow those numbers, that's what you got. And it came down to that. And of course, my public was raging. And I appreciate all my supporters. I appreciate all my clan out there, everybody out there, supporting the channel. They were very, adamant about me changing back to Chocolate Man. So yeah. So I kind of bent to the numbers and I bent to my public. So I'm back. Well,
it must be nice to get that kind of feedback, though. I mean, versus just going dark. You know, I mean, they're coming back saying, "Hey, I like the name. Go for it. Please go back to that." That's nice to see, right?
Yeah, I picked up about 100 subs in 24 hours, so I guess it worked.
Yeah. And so a little birdie told me, James, that you may be due back to the U.S. at some point soon.
Maybe. You guys might see me over there. You never know. It could happen in the next, 10 to 20 days. You never know. You might see me back over there in America.
And I know you've been talking about that for a little while. I thought you were talking about coming back to get vaccinated, but you've been fully vaccinated now, so you're good to go.
I'm fully Visor. I'm fully Visor certified right now, and that's just because the Thai government offered it, and I said, why not? Why not go get it? And it was 100% free. Some people, how much did you pay for it? Did you have to pay to get in the queue or anything like? Nope. I just went and filled out my paperwork, and they gave it to me free. It's that simple. Nothing to it.
It's nice. So your travel back to the U.S. just see family, see friends?
Gonna go see mom, go do some shopping, all the standard stuff, get some very, very not good for you American food, get my fill. But I promise you, after probably a week or two back there, I'll be very ready to come back to Thailand. So I'm not against Thailand whatsoever. I love Thailand, and I will be looking forward to coming right back.
Yeah, I think it's been a couple of years since you've been back, hasn't it?
It's been 2017 was the last time I set foot on American soil.
Wow.
So yeah, it's been a little bit. Been a little bit.
Wow.
So,
wow. That's amazing.
It's gonna be interesting to go back there and see how things have changed or not changed. So
yeah, well, you're getting a lot of positive feedback on the name change back. I'll tell you, that takes guts to say, listen, I'm gonna listen to my subscribers, I'm gonna go back to the name, because you were all switched over to Retire Life Problems. You had the new intro, everything was good.
Yeah.
But good for you, man. I'm gonna follow you regardless. I love your videos. So whatever the name is, I'm gonna follow you. I'm a subscriber for life.
Awesome, brother. Appreciate the support, man.
Great. Well, I wanted to give you a chance to come in and kind of, clear the air there, tell people what's going on. I'm sure everyone's kind of aware. They've been following you on Facebook. They know that your account was not hacked. You actually sent it back yourself. Everything's good. So rock on, man. I wish you the best of success, and please keep us updated with the trip back to America. You're going to film that maybe, your trip back?
Oh, yeah. Come on. The vlog never stops, baby. The vlog never stops.
You are a grinder. So I give you props for all the YouTube videos that you create, but I'll tell you what, you're also a pretty good troll in the live chat. I see your little funny messages in there, James. You're busted.
Yep.
You're pretty good.
Just trying to keep the fire stoked, man. Keep things going.
Great. Well, keep us updated, man. I'm going to let you get back to whatever you're doing there. And thanks for coming on.
No problem, brother. Good to see you.
All right. I think that's great, you guys, putting all your comments in there saying that's great that changed the name back to Chocolate Man in Thailand. I'm sure he loves to see that. And I saw Kevin Cheng Noi, Little Elephants in here. That's great, man. Good to see you in here. Haven't seen you for a little while. And Ditching Corporate. Nice to see you in here as well. Got AJ. Awesome. And Nikki Dunn says, bet you can't wait to see your mom, though, James. Yeah, I bet you he's excited to see some family. That's the biggest thing. He's want to get back and see family. And your Mojo, I think I already profiled you, your Mojo. Nice to see you in there, man. Mr. Mitch is going crazy with the links. Man, bam, bam, bam. Looking good, man. Looking good. So let's do this. Let's pivot and let's talk about bringing our guy of the live show, Kevin, from 30 and a Wake Up. I do have a funny story to share about his channel name. We'll share as we kind of talk through it. He kind of busted me for saying the wrong channel name. Got a slap on the wrist. Stop that, Richard. So we're going to bring him in here momentarily. I'm going to cue an intro for him. Bring him in. Again, hello to Kevin's mom, and we'll see Kevin in here shortly. Kevin, welcome to the Reeshard Travel Live Show.
Hey, what's going on, Richard? Great to be on your show, man.
I got to tell you, man, I'm a huge fan of your channel, Kevin. Just like 168 videos you got up there, 74,000 subscribers. You've done this all since, I think, January 2019, right? That's tremendous growth.
I started the YouTube channel actually a year before that, but it was just kind of like onesies and twosies for the videos.
I got to tell you, you got a lot of fans in the chat. I want to give you a chance to say hello to all your fans. You got a bunch of people in there. Everyone's like, I'm Kevin's fan. I subscribe to Kevin.
Yeah, I let my military buddies know I was going to come on. I let my YouTube channel, my RV buddies. I was like, hey, I know this is a weird time in the U.S., but if you could jump in. So yeah, I'm proud to be your first experiment in this new time. It's pretty cool.
Yeah, so a lot of pressure for this new time. I'm telling you, I heard a lot of negative feedback and a lot of positive feedback. So, hey, can't please everybody, but I want to try to please myself.
Yeah, that's a saying in the military, man. You can't please 100% of the people 100% of the time, so don't even try. You're never going to do it.
Got, let's see, Brian is saying, what's up, Kevin? Saying hello to you there. Ditching Corporate, giving you a thumbs up.
Hey, Ditching Corporate. I think he just got to Thailand.
Ah, okay, cool. And then Chris saying hello to Kevin. Paul D, everyone's saying hello. Nikki's saying she just subbed to you. Awesome. Going to pick up some subscribers here. That's great. So, Kevin, I'm so excited to talk to you today for a couple reasons. But first of all, like, there's so much to talk about. I had to actually put out a little outline for us to kind of talk through the conversation today because there's so much to talk about. We got van life, we got Thai life, we got corporate life, all this kind of stuff. But I thought what it might be nice to do is kind of switch gears a little bit. Let's take a step back. I wanted to kind of talk through kind of your start, your military career to your career in finance, and then your career as a lawyer. Like, that's quite a lot of stuff that he had going on early in life.
Yeah, I mean, I'm a jack of all trades, master of none, you know. so I kind of hop from thing to thing. That's one of the things that was great about being in the military is you switch jobs every 2 or 3 years, and I didn't realize how much I liked that until I got out and I wasn't doing that anymore. So yeah, I've done a lot of things because I'm still trying to figure out what I want to do when I grow up.
Yeah. So you were in the military for a couple years, for 5 years? Is that what I understand?
No, 20 years and 3 months.
A little longer than 5 years.
Yeah. It went by really quick though. It was like, you join and then the next minute it's over. So it went by super quick.
Yeah. And then from there you kind of pivoted into finance.
No, so I had a YouTube channel about finance, not really finance, but about investing. I never showed my face on the channel because I was in the military, and so I just kept it faceless. But then when I became a corporate lawyer, I had a lot of conflicts with the companies I was representing with that channel, so I closed that channel down. Hindsight being 2020, I wish I wouldn't have done that because I probably could have converted a lot of them into 30 and a Wake Up fans. And that first year wouldn't have been such a grind on YouTube, but yeah, I wasn't able to recover the channel. I tried through YouTube and they were just like, sorry, man, you deleted it yourself. It wasn't something else.
Now, so did you get a notification, a confirmation your mom was in the chat? Is she joining us today?
I'm pretty sure she is. I know my aunt's in there. So if my aunt's in there, my mom's in there.
So we got to show a picture of you with your mom. Got to show that.
Absolutely.
So let me go ahead and do this. Let me share my screen. I got a cool picture loaded up for you here.
She loves this picture too. So
yeah, that's a great picture. So tell us, where was that taken? What time of I guess you're just getting out of school?
Yeah, so I did all my undergrad in the military. I joined straight out of high school. It was all piecemeal. I never had like a brick and mortar experience. So when I retired, I still had the GI Bill. So I decided to go to law school. This is at my law school graduation at Georgetown. And my mom was like super proud. She was a little disappointed when I left the legal career to be a YouTuber. Like, she loves introducing me. She loved introducing me as, her son Kevin from the military and then her son Kevin the lawyer. She's not too big of a fan of introducing Kevin the YouTuber. But she was my mom's my biggest fan, man. You got to love your mom,
Yeah, I think it's interesting because, you made a big switch from the military to corporate life, right? So, I mean, that's a huge switch. People aren't used to seeing you looking like this, right? They're used to seeing you in that black T-shirt.
Yeah, that was my law firm, Arnold and Porter, that I worked at in New York City. So,
yeah, how long did you work there for?
I was there almost a year. So I practiced juvenile law for a year. My last year of law school, I was in a clinic. I was temporarily barred in DC, and I was a juvenile defense lawyer. So I represented a bunch of juveniles. And then after I graduated law school, I went to the law firm of Arnold and Porter. It was a great firm. I worked with some great people, but I was mostly working for pharmaceutical companies during the opioid crisis. And it was just, I was having to like work on cases with veterans. The veterans community has really been impacted negatively by the opioid crisis. And it was just, I was coming home every night and watching travel videos, watching, like your interviews and stuff. And finally I was like, man, I got a military retirement. I got savings. Like, why don't I just go out there and do that? So that's what I did.
Yeah. So that was a big decision for you, right? I mean, did you put a lot of effort and thought into that?
Yeah, I mean, absolutely. Law school was always a goal for me. And that was really, once I graduated law school and I got into a firm, that's when I was looking around going, oh, wait a second, this isn't like the military where I switched jobs every, 2 or 3 years, sometimes every year. And I was looking around at all the partners at the law firm, seeing my future. And I was like, man, I know they pay a lot of money, but I don't want to be doing this in my 50s. I was like, I want to be traveling. I want to be nomadic like I was in the military. And so, I just made the decision one day to leave. I've kind of felt bad about it because they gave this like old guy a chance. It's really a young person's game. So I felt a little bit bad about it. But at the same time, man, you only live once. And at about that time, not to draw this out, but I had skin cancer. And luckily for me, it ended up being the easily curable one, basal cell skin cancer, not melanoma.
Okay.
And that was a little bit of a wake-up call. I was like, man, you really only live once, so.
Yeah, and that's actually a nice segue into like my screw up with your channel name. You were busting me. I finally heard on one of your live streams, you said like, yes, I'm going on Reeshard Travel, but this guy keeps saying my name wrong. He keeps saying 30 in a wake-up call. I'm like, oh, crap. I don't think I'm supposed to be saying that. So then I researched and I'm like, oh, my bad. I'm sorry, man.
It happens all the time. I was just busting your chops. And it's funny. I got this like gray beard and bald head. And people are always like, dude, man, you look haggard for 30 years old, man. Life hadn't treated you well. And so people always think it's like 30 years old and I had some kind of wake-up call, but that's not what it means. You kind of explained it in the beginning. It's related to my military service. Yeah,
that's why I figured when you and I talked on the pre-interview, like we got to knock that right out of the ballpark right away. Like put that intro up there, explain what the channel name is there. I want to say hello to Rachel though. Rachel's saying, hey, Rachel. Devin in the house, big fan of yours. She left me a comment saying she was so excited about this. She thought she might have overslept because she saw that there was a live stream that already took place on my channel, but it was actually my 50th live show. So she's like, thank God I didn't miss it.
Yeah, Rachel's awesome. She's a great subscriber, great supporter.
So I want to fast forward a little bit because there's actually a great comment there. I don't know if I can find it again from Go More Hike asking, Kevin, tell us about meeting Icy. So we'll fast forward and then we'll go back.
No, Icy's awesome. I still get comments. I mean, I probably get a daily comment about, are you and Icy dating? That kind of thing. And I'm like, no, she's like a quarter, half my age. She's like 21 or 22. And she's just a great person. We're both YouTubers. She reached out and said, hey, you want to do a collab? I feel bad because most of my subscribers are van life people. So that video didn't get a whole lot of views. Didn't really help her channel out that much. But it was fun to go out and see Chinatown with a Thai person. That's the best way to do it. If you can find someone Thai that will take you out. Because some of the stuff I ate, I would have never bought on my own. So
yeah. Well, I think she's super smart. I'm a big fan of hers. She's great, got a great channel. But you had a nice segue there into van life. Let's talk about that a little bit because one of the things before you went to van life was you signed up with a company called Remote Year, where you actually did a year of traveling. I think you hit 11 countries in that year, 11 or 12 countries. 12 countries, yeah. So tell us about that experience.
Yeah, so Remote Year is a company that basically takes a group of individuals. In my case, it was 35 people who already have jobs and can work remotely, and you pay them a monthly fee and they handle all the logistics of travel for you for a year. And you travel and live in a different country every 30 days. So I was starting a new YouTube channel called 30 and a Wake Up. It fit my genre perfectly. And I traveled with some amazing people in that program. The fee you pay includes your lodging, a co-working space access, because most of these people have real jobs. They're not like YouTubers like me.
Yeah.
So they need really good internet connection and like an office space. It includes a person that travels with you and handles all the issues. So if your flight gets canceled, you just sit back and relax. They handle it. Your cost of your flight's included. And then when you get in country, there's 2 people that are assigned to you. One is a like fun person. That's a local, and they'll take you to all the local spots to eat, all the local nightclubs if you're into that, things like that. And the other person is the operations person, kind of like in the military. They handle all the issues that come up. So if your toilet breaks in your Airbnb, you don't got to worry about it. You just tell them, they take care of it. And it's a great program. But yeah, we traveled to 12 places, and I made lifelong friends. You travel with the same people the whole time.
Oh, that's great.
These amazing friends.
Yeah, I feel like a couple of things you mentioned about why you love the program so much. And it's like, it's one fee. They'll handle all the transportation, the lodging, the airfares, this kind of stuff. But they actually had you traveling to countries that weren't on your radar. And that excited you, like, wow, I never thought about going here, but hey, it's on the schedule. Let's do it.
Yeah, I probably never would have traveled to, like, we went to Medellin, Colombia, which is one of my favorite places in the world now. We went to Lima, Peru, hiked Machu Picchu. We went to Chile, hiked in Patagonia. Then we came over to Asia. Most of the Asia countries I would have went to or had already been to. But Vietnam, Hanoi specifically wasn't really on my radar. I freaking love Hanoi. And then we went to South Africa, Cape Town, South Africa. I probably never would have done that had I not been with Remote Year. So that was really cool. It exposed me to all these different places. But also, like I mentioned, it like connected me with these group of people that thought like me, that wanted to be nomadic, wanted to travel and work. It was just really cool. They're all like lifelong friends. So
yeah, I think that was great because you timed it perfectly. If I remember right, you went off in January 2019, came back January 2020, just
March.
as like March.
Yeah, I left February of 2019, came back March 1st, was going to visit my mother for a month, and I was actually heading back over. I was heading to the Nomad Summit in Tbilisi, Georgia, and then I was coming back to Asia, mostly Malaysia, bouncing around different places in Malaysia, and all that got canceled.
Yeah, and I feel like, so that's crazy because I came back from Thailand in February 2020, just as things were starting to get a little crazy. So coming back in March, that's when things are starting to go into lockdown, this kind of stuff. But let's transition a little bit because I want to talk about the meat potatoes. What I want to hear about is the van life, man. I'm so excited. So anyone that has not checked out these videos on your channel, they should go check them out because I'll tell you, I was impressed with your interviewing skills. Like you have some really cool people on there showing their vans, but I wanted to show, I think this is your van. This is the West Yellowstone picture I wanted to show. This is yours, right?
Yeah, that was my first van. I ended up rolling in 2 of them, but that was my first van. It's a Winnebago Travado.
Let me show this one here. So this is a sweet van, man. I saw this. I'm like, oh, it's a great picture, by the way, too. Like the lighting coming in, everything perfectly. But you had a couple of these, right?
Yeah. My first one was a Winnebago Travado. My second one was a Storyteller. Storyteller Beast Mode is what it's called. But I love this van here, though. It was like it reminded me of like the A-Team or something, like a modern version of the A-Team's van or something.
Yeah, I mean, why did you think about going van life? Like what? You were traveling internationally, everything's in lockdown, you come back. Did you just kind of think, hey, listen, I still want to travel. Van is the way to go? Yeah,
so my channel was just starting to pick up traction. I had some videos doing really, really well in Malaysia. And I think I just broken 10,000 subscribers. And I was like, I'm a travel vlogger that can't travel. Like, what am I going to do? And I had really fond memories. I took 2 RV trips with my family when I was younger, one down to Florida and one over to Colorado. And I'd already been thinking about doing that anyway. And this just kind of sped up the process. And I got really, really lucky because it was at the beginning of COVID. And I bought my RV, my van, and then all of a sudden, van life and like buying an RV exploded. Like everyone wanted to do it because they knew they weren't going to be able to travel by plane for a long time. So it was like right place, right time for me from a YouTube perspective. But yeah, it was an awesome experience driving around the U.S. The U.S. is just an amazing country.
Yeah, I mean, there's a lot of great places to go, and I always tell people, like, I think that's where the big travel bug is going to hit, is people traveling domestically. Seeing cities and states they haven't traveled yet. James is kind of busting you out. He's basically saying you color graded that picture. Any color grading with that, or is that natural?
No, that's natural, man. That's West Yellowstone, a little town outside of Yellowstone. So for those that don't know, the United States has all this free camping all over the country, mostly out west, on Bureau of Land Management land and national forest. And this is on, I think this is a national forest right outside of Yellowstone where you can camp for free. You can pay $100 a night in Yellowstone, or you can camp for free outside of Yellowstone with these beautiful views like you see in that picture.
Now, what about this one? Now, this is a different van, right?
No, it's the same van.
Same van, different lighting.
Yeah, that's the exact same van. It's just lifted in that picture. I put a 3-inch lift on it so I could go to places that you shouldn't go in vans. That's at a place called Henry's Lake in Idaho. Also a free place to camp. You can camp there for 14 days for free. It's amazing.
And that's the thing that I think about, Kevin, is like, this must be an expensive lifestyle, traveling around, all the stops you got to make. But you're saying a lot of this stuff is free. You can hook up and it's all free, huh?
Yeah, it's just like anything else. Like Thailand can be expensive or it can be cheap. Van life's the same way. I traveled pretty slow, so I would go out in the middle of nowhere and stay for 14 days. If you're moving every day, then you're gonna eat up a lot of gas. So that can make your lifestyle more expensive. I also have a pretty expensive rig there, although I ended up selling it for exactly what I paid for it, just a little bit under. But you can get a rig for much cheaper than mine. To me, van life can be just as affordable as living in Thailand, to be completely honest with you. I'm pretty simple. I just spend money on food and accommodations and travel. That's it. I don't really own anything. I'm a minimalist. So for me, I could live on $1,000 to $1,500 a month in the van.
Wow. Thailand digital nomad saying, I've lived off the grid in the past. Going forward, love to convert a van. I think a lot of people are thinking that same thing. And then Rich L was saying, travel is the magic word. Always like the fact that Kevin loves to travel. So that's awesome, Kevin. Like, I think that comes through on the videos, just your passion for it all. That's what I enjoyed so much about watching all the older videos, is just seeing you explore these areas for the first time and the joy you had on your face, even like with the sand and the sand dunes, just watching that go through your hands. Like, look at this. This is incredible. Yeah.
I've never been on a sand dune before. For those who don't know, Peru has a desert. It's called the Huacachina Desert. And it's just like a desert like you would find in Sahara or in Egypt. It's amazing, and these huge sand dunes in the middle of Peru.
Yeah, and Sick Puppy saying, yes, America is beautiful. I think a lot of people are finding that out for the first time. I mean, would you recommend that for everyone? Like, listen, take a year and don't travel internationally, travel domestically, find those cities and states that you really wouldn't look at, going to?
Yeah, I mean, our country is so big. Like, we kind of lose sight of it when we're in the U.S., but it's so big and there's so much to see. Like on the East Coast, you have like all the historic, like battle monuments and things like that. And then you have Florida. And then on the West side, you have like this just open area of land and all these amazing places that you can camp for inexpensive, as a U.S. citizen, or actually as a visitor to the United States. You're entitled to camp on this land for 14 days for free. And so it's amazing. There's so much. I mean, the Rocky Mountains, the Sierra Nevadas, there's so much great stuff to see in the U.S.
Yeah, I mean, it looks beautiful. The pictures you have. I follow you now on Instagram. Just the pictures you have back in the van life days are incredible. FC is asking, how much does a van like that cost? You mind talking about that a little bit?
Yeah, I'm pretty transparent on my channel about all that stuff. That van right there is the top of the line Travato. It was called the National Park Edition. And that van was $120K. If you get a normal Travato like mine, it won't have as big of a battery pack. I wanted a lot of power, off-grid power. If you get one that just has a generator, it'll run you about $80,000. So still, it's not cheap. But that's the vans. The vans are way more expensive than the normal RVs that you think of in your mind that are RVs. The normal RVs, you can get one you can get a fifth wheel for, 10 grand or less. Or a big one of the buses for 50 grand.
Yeah. Did you find it a little overwhelming at first, Kevin, when you started thinking, hey, I want to do this van life, all the research necessary to customize a van like that? Is it overwhelming at first?
Yeah, definitely. Trying to figure out what you want to get, what works for you, especially when you're making that kind of cash commitment. I always recommend people go and rent a van, because maybe you think you want to live it in a Class B van. Like I had a van, but then you get in it and you realize it's really, really small. And like you're like, you know what? I want a Class C, which is what we normally think of as an RV or a Winnebago, which is much bigger.
Yeah.
So I recommend people go and rent and figure out which one you like before you slap down a bunch of money.
So one thing that was interesting to me is looking at all the different interviews you did with other people that were living the van life is it pretty much looked like they were all kind of single. I didn't see a lot of couples that were doing the van life. Is it tough to have a couple staying in a van? Is it more for the single lifestyle?
So I would say there's actually more couples out there than there are single people out there doing it, to be honest with you. But I was a member. I always like to tap into communities. So in the RV community, there's an organization called Escapees, but there's a sub-organization called Escapers. And so it's not the 70-year-old RVer. It's like the 40-something RVer that's a digital nomad that's traveling in their RV. And that community is a lot of single people that join that community because they're looking for other like-minded people to meet up with on the road. And so most of the people that you see in those videos, they were in that group called Escapers. And so that's why there's so many people like that. So,
Kevin, did you find that? And I'm sorry, Sick Puppy was asking a question. I was going on to my question before having his. He was saying, did you go to Burning Man? Burning Man.
No, I haven't been to Burning Man. It was at the height of COVID when I was traveling around. So at that time, I don't even know if it happened, to be honest with you. But yeah, I was like, man, a large crowd, that probably doesn't make a whole lot of sense. So I like being out in the middle of nowhere by myself anyway. That's kind of what I was famous for.
Yeah, and I want to talk about that a little bit later on, about introvert that you are, that we talked about. But one thing I want to talk to you about is it's quite a life change, right? So you go from the military to having a finance YouTube channel to being a lawyer to then living van life. How did that change you? Like as a person, do you look at yourself in the mirror and say, I'm so different now than I was back then?
So there's a lot of similarities in all of those lifestyles, especially from a community perspective. I'm really big on the community perspective. So in the military, you travel with they take people from a bunch of different walks of life. They put them all in this kind of crazy environment, and you all just form these bonds that last a lifetime. And it's very similar in all of the different groups I've been gravitating to. So I went to law school. Law school is very challenging. Same thing with the people I went to law school with. We all kind of bonded over that shared experience. And then when I went and traveled with Remote Year, we were all from different economic backgrounds, different walks of life, different ages, but we all bonded over that, traveling with that Remote Year program. And then when I went to van life, joined the Escapers, same thing, that community of people living that same type of lifestyle. And now I'm out here traveling internationally and hanging out with YouTubers like Retire Like a King, Greenie, Chocolate Man in Thailand, Mr. Mitch, hanging out.
I hear Retire Like a King is going back to Greenie Travels. I hear that's coming up next. That's the next.
I call him that in the video I haven't released yet. And I'm like, oh man.
That's kidding, Greenie. Greenie's like, how dare you say that? But Greenie, I'm drinking Truly.
Blowing up from that name.
Drinking the Truly. Low calorie, 5% alcohol. Hopefully not get drunk during the live show. That'd be bad for him. But yeah, I mean, it's curious to me because I see one thing we talked about on the pre-interview was the fact that you consider yourself an introvert. And I do as well. My profession, my career is actually sales. You think I'd be this extrovert that loves to be around people. I kind of like my own little circle of friends and do my thing. But people think that YouTube creators are extroverts and there are some people like that. But you want to talk about the challenge that comes with when you're having a YouTube channel, but you're kind of more of an introvert than an extrovert.
Yeah, sometimes people confuse introvertness with shyness. Like they're different things, right? As an introvert, we're different from extroverts because we get our energy from being alone, where extroverts get their energy from being around people. And so I think YouTube actually lends really well to that, especially. I actually tried to be more of an out and about travel vlogger for a while. I was trying to be like Los LeBlanc when I first started. I had really expensive equipment and I tried to be out, but that just as an introvert, it wasn't comfortable for me. So I had to kind of switch up my style and do more of the do that stuff, but B-roll that in over me talking where it's a more private situation, if that makes sense.
No, it does. It makes perfect sense. And I think that's one thing I may really struggle with, because the videos that I've done are edited. I get to kind of be in my little bubble, put the music in, do a narration or two, but I've never actually been one to do vlogs like you've done, where you're out with the camera, you're talking. That requires a different type of energy, right? Because you got to show that energy on the camera. Yeah,
it's different. It's different when I'm out in public, but it's okay when I'm like out in public areas where there's no people. Like I did a bunch of hikes in Patagonia and in like Machu Picchu. Like that stuff's easy because it's just me and the camera. That stuff's easy. But it's like I did that video with Icy. It was easy because I was with her. You know what I mean? Like that made it easier. But I wouldn't have been able to just go out and do that video myself. I would have felt really uncomfortable sticking my camera in people's faces. That's another thing that I'm really conscious about. Sticking my camera in other people's faces out in public. And so that's kind of how I get around it. I either do a vlog with somebody and that makes it easier. And I've also found, Richard, when I do live streams, it's actually easy because I feel like I'm with my audience. And so I don't feel as self-conscious when I'm out filming, if that makes sense.
Yeah, it makes absolute sense. I think the sense of community is great. And you have a great community that joins you on all your live streams. People are really great. I love to come in the chat and just see all the comments back and forth. I feel like there's a whole separate conversation going on. Then you have the live stream. I feel like I got to watch it twice to kind of take in the live chat and then take in what you're saying, which is great.
Yeah,
but you know what? It's
a great, amazing audience.
So I'm older, and I grew up with a guy named Warren Miller, who used to make ski film documentaries. Love the guy. I'd go every year at the beginning of season, watch his film. He had the narration. I'm so old that I remember when he used to do the narration live. Yeah, live back in the 80s, man. It was awesome. But the reason I bring him up is he went to all different countries, cities, all different ski resorts, and he was always asked, like, where's your favorite city or state to ski in? And he would say, wherever I am at the time.
Yeah.
So I think about that because you've been to so many countries, and I feel like the same may apply to you. If people ask, what's your favorite country? Is it wherever you are at the time, like now in Thailand?
Yeah, that's a really hard question. I get that question like all the time. And it's just the hardest question to answer. There are some countries that I'm in love with more than others. But when people ask me that question, I always kind of turn it around a little bit. And I'm like, I can't really answer that question because I love so many countries. But if you ask me, what is the one country, if you can only go to one place, what country would I recommend that I've been to? And I always tell them Peru. And the reason for that is Peru has something for everybody. You can go skiing one afternoon at world-class ski resorts. The next afternoon, you can go surfing at a world-class surf break. You can go hike ancient ruins in Machu Picchu, or hike a natural wonder like Rainbow Mountain. You can stay in an amazing metropolitan city like Lima, or you can stay in a 2,000-year-old city like Cusco. You can be in the Huacachina Desert one minute, be in the rainforest another minute, and be in snow the next minute. It has something for everybody. So that's the country I always recommend to people. Plus the food scene is amazing too. Food's amazing.
Yeah, I think the closest I've been to Peru is I watched a Locked Up Abroad episode on Peru where the guy got pinched with some bags, some stuff in there. But the place looked great before he got busted. It looked great.
Yeah. I had something confiscated there. I had a tripod confiscated because it like had these little like pointy things on it. They're it can be used as a weapon. I was like, oh no. So they took some Peruvian guy has my $200 Manfrotto tripod.
Yeah, I was just going to say, if it's a Manfrotto, that's not cheap. That's where you're like, you want to put up a fight or not? It's like,
there's nothing you can do about it.
So van life is great. I love the videos on that because I feel like you're really in your element when you go to talk to other people that are living the van life. Did you find that you kind of were able to network pretty easily and find other people to talk to at different locations?
Yeah, so I mentioned that escapers group, and when you tap into that escapers group, they have Facebook groups in all the different areas. And so you tap in, like, let's say I'm in West Yellowstone, where the picture is behind you right now. Actually, I found that spot from an escaper. So you jump into that Facebook chat, and you say, hey, I'm in the area. letting everybody know, anybody know any good free camping spots? And then it'll give you GPS coordinates of all these amazing spots. And then every day someone will say, hey, I'm going on this like hike up a 14-foot mountain in Colorado. Anybody want to join me? And I have a couple videos where I hiked 14,000 foot peaks in Colorado. That's like a thing to do there. Oh. And I found those in that little chat. Someone said, hey, I'm doing this tomorrow. Anybody want to go? And I'm like, yeah, sure. Didn't know the person. Just join them. We have the van life thing in common.
Yeah, it's interesting. So one of the things I want to talk to you about was the fact that your channel has been so diverse. You know, you've pretty much had YouTube channels in like 3 different genres. You know, you had finance, van life, and now international travel. How do you do that, man? I mean, that's kind of like restarting each time, right? I mean,
yeah, especially this channel. So this channel's reinvented itself. This is my 3rd time. First, it was international travel, and it didn't do very well until I went to Malaysia. I tell all travel vloggers, if you want to pick up a huge audience, go to Malaysia and make videos about Malaysia. You will go to 10,000 subs quick. Malaysians love videos about Malaysia. They all speak English, so they can all watch your videos. So it's a great place to go as a travel vlogger if you're trying to get subscribers. The only problem with Malaysians is they don't watch any other, they don't watch videos about anything else unless you're comparing it to Malaysia. Like if I say, who's got better food, Thailand or Malaysia? They'll watch that.
Yeah.
And so I went from that, you know, building that audience. I was at 10, 12,000 before I made the switch to van life. And then I went van life. I got really lucky with my timing. And I also interviewed a very, you know, couple very attractive women that were living in their van or their Airstream right when everybody started searching that stuff. And so those videos kind of blew up, helped me get a ton of van life subscribers. And then obviously I told people this all the time. This is not a van life channel. This is a travel channel. At some point, I'm not going to be doing this. I might come back to it, trying to warn them. But, you know, then I switched to international travel. And it's kind of an up and down roller coaster when you do that because, you know, I tell people all the time, if I like a cooking channel and they all of a sudden start making sewing videos, like I'm probably not going to watch them. So my van life community is not, you know, most of them are not crazy about the international stuff. So I'm trying to figure out how to do some van life in Thailand to bring them back.
Yeah, I was going to ask you about that. Would you consider doing van life in Thailand? But before I ask that question, I want to tell you, so not only are you an introvert, but I feel that you're very humble as well. Because when you and I first started conversing, you never led with the fact of like, yeah, I got almost 75,000 subscribers. That might have been a nice icebreaker, but you're so humble. Yeah. And then like with your videos, the Airstream video, 1.1 million views.
1.8.
1.8. Pardon me. That's huge, man. Congratulations. Yeah, that's great. That's what everyone wants,
the thing is, I mean, your audience is primarily Thailand or maybe international travel, but probably mostly Thailand. And I knew I wasn't going to bring much to the table because my audience is mostly van life. I have a lot of my van life audience in here that are like loyal people that'll watch anything I do. I see Samantha Olmstead, by the way. She's awesome. She's got an amazing van life channel if you want to check it out. Where was I going with that? I knew I wasn't going to be able to bring a bunch of people to your channel. And I'm always big on like, you know, if I'm getting something from you, I like to be able to give you something. So hopefully as my channel grows, I can push more people to your channel. But yeah, that's the thing about switching genres. I tell people all the time, just start a new channel. Don't do what I do because you're gonna be in a roller coaster of it's like rebuilding your channel every time you switch genres.
Yeah, that's a great picture that Samantha has there. So we have to check out her channel. Mr. Mitch, if you can put up a link to her channel, that'd be great. What's the name of her channel? Is it her name or is it something
yeah, it's
else?
her name.
Okay.
She's Mitch great. She's super funny, man. Super funny.
That's great. Stuck in Florida was coming in. There's Brock saying hello. Nice to see you guys in there. Yeah, it's interesting. So would you ever consider about doing van life in Thailand?
Yeah, the only issue with doing van life somewhere tropical like this is you got to have a good electrical system so you can turn the AC on because you would be miserable in Thailand. Like in Florida, which is not as bad as Thailand, I was down there for a couple months down in the Everglades, and some nights were miserable even with AC. So that's the big bugaboo, but I would like to try it. I know there's a couple people out there doing it. I think Esquire.
Esquire United, I think.
Yeah.
Limited.
I think he's done it on his channel.
Yep, he's got a little micro band.
I don't know him, but I need to touch base with him and see the whole van life. And then I saw Lucas from Ride for Kicks went and stayed at an RV park basically. So that might be a nice little thing to share with my audience.
Yeah, I want to say if Lucas is in the chat or watched the replay, I'm sorry to see your motorbikes get so messed up there with the flooding lately. Wow. That Grand Avenue really took it hard, huh?
Yeah, he's in the same building. I saw his motocross bike down there. It looks like it's okay.
Yeah. So how are you doing with the transition now? So you're switching over to more, I guess you're probably going to be doing more international travel once things open up. Or do you say yourself kind of staying in Thailand for a while?
Yeah, so I decided to get a Thai Elite visa. So I got that last month, actually about 2 months ago. And so what the pandemic taught me was you need to have like alternate places that you can kind of come and go as you please. And Thailand's always been one of my favorite places. I've been coming here since 1998. The U.S. Navy pulls into Phuket and Pattaya anytime they're going to the Arabian Gulf. They pull in on the way in and on the way out. So I've been a million times. I knew I loved the place. I lived in Chiang Mai in 2019. And so
what do you like so much about Pattaya?
What do I like about Pattaya? So
what do you like
to
so
be
much
honest with you, I'm not a huge fan of Pattaya. For me, it's all about the nostalgia because I pulled in so many times to this place on Navy ships. Like I was in the Abraham Lincoln Battle Group during shock and awe when we first invaded Iraq. And we were out for we were on deployment for 11 months, really long deployment. And I was on a little tiny ship called Frigate. And I have so many memories pulling in with my buddies, hanging out in Pattaya. So when I walk around Pattaya, it just reminds me of those days with those guys. They've all guys and, well, that ship was all guys. But when I pulled in with the Abraham Lincoln carrier, there were women as well. But just reminds me of them. And like, so it's a very nostalgic place for me. It's a little bit too busy. I prefer Jomtien.
Yeah, my favorite place. Yeah. I love
Jomtien. It's a little bit too busy for me. But yeah, it has this nostalgia for me that I like to revisit.
Yeah, I get it. Yeah, I get it. So I want to give a shout out to Haley from Retire in Chiang Mai because she helped you out with your Elite visa, right? So you knew about Haley, but then you saw her on my show, and you felt like, wow, she's legit. She knows her stuff. Yeah. So when I was researching the Thai Elite visa, if you've ever went to the Thai Elite visa website, for a company that charges so much money, makes so much money off, pretty like mostly wealthy people. I have the like non-wealthy person one, but some of those visas are for people investing millions of dollars into Thailand. It's a pretty it's like a 1990s website. And you're talking about the Thailand website, right? The Elite Visa website, not Haley's website. Haley's awesome.
No, not Haley's. So I started researching people that do these visas, and so I found Haley's channel. And I was like, can I trust this person? Like, this is some random YouTube person. I tell people all the time, don't trust random YouTube people. And I saw her, so I started researching her, and I saw her interview on your channel, both of them. There were two of them. And I was like, okay, I'm willing to trust her. And she was amazing. Like, I really didn't have to do anything. People always ask me, like, what's the process like? I'm like, I have no idea. I have no idea what the Thai Elite process is like because Haley did everything. She helped me with my certificate of entry as well, which was awesome. She gave me a little checklist for coming in the airport. Like everyone else was being held up, and I just went like zip, 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 zip right through. And it was just like, I can't recommend Haley enough. And if you're doing the Thai Elite visa, it's free for you. Haley doesn't charge you because she gets a commission from Thai Elite. So it's not like it costs you any money either. So.
Wow, yeah. That's great to hear. Yeah, I love Haley. I want to have her back on the show. I don't want to be that stalker that has her on every 2 months. I got to wait a little bit of time, but I want to definitely get her on the schedule. She's great. Yeah. So full of energy. Is she like that when you're working with her too? So full of energy.
Oh yeah. She's a ball. She's awesome. I mean, she's she has such good customer service. Like that's so important to me. Like I judge, a person by that, and her customer service is just next level. Like really was next level.
That's great. I want to say hello to Icy. Thank you for making it. Looks like she kind of overslept a little bit.
Icy,
she's in the chat now. Everyone's saying hello to her. She's a fan favorite. That's great. Yeah. So what do you think is next for the channel? I mean, you've been doing a lot of great traveling inside Thailand. You're kind of been in Pattaya for a little while now. Are you staying at the same place Lucas is at?
Yeah, I'm at Grand Avenue. We're Greeny and Lucas.
Okay.
Yeah.
Yeah, gotcha.
Yeah.
So what do you think is the next step for you? Where do you want to go next in Thailand?
Yeah. So my original plan was to come here, get a motorbike, and travel by motorbike. You know, I like traveling slow, so I'd probably go 20, 30 miles a day. It wouldn't be like hundreds of miles a day. And just exploring places that are kind of off the beaten path, along with exploring places that, you know, you want to show people like Pai, Chiang Rai, Chiang Mai, Pattaya, Jam Tien, Hue Hin, Phuket. But obviously when I got here, like the COVID lockdown was happening. So I want to transition back to that. I really love Patty's channel. For those that don't, you know, I don't know if people know Patty.
What channel is hers?
Patty, Paddy.
Okay. Oh, Patty, yeah.
Patty Doyle. Yeah, Patty Doyle.
Yeah.
I love his channel, how he's traveling around on that Honda Dream. I probably wouldn't travel on a motorbike that tiny, but I'm a little bit bigger guy than him.
Yeah, he's fearless.
yeah, I definitely wouldn't do that.
Looks like you got a friend of yours saying hello to you, Box Van D. Are you familiar with his channel?
Box Van D, she's an internet celebrity, man. There's a million subscriber channel out there called Cheap RV Living, and his most popular videos are of D. And if you've seen the movie Nomad, like that movie that came out, Nomad, what was it called? Nomadicana or something like that, about people who live in vans, won the Oscar. That video, I think, is based on D, who has the most popular videos on this Cheap RV Living channel. I mean, like 10 million views, all her videos combined. She's super, super popular in the van life community. So you have a celebrity on here.
That's great. Well, welcome to the live stream. Glad you can make it. Haley's busting me out. You know, I got to show the good comments and the bad. So I don't think I ever replied back to Haley's wonderful email she sent me. It was a wonderful email, too. Made me blush a little bit. But I thought, awesome. You know, it's one of those things where I thought I replied back and I didn't. So bad on me. I'm sorry, Haley. Please forgive me.
Yeah, she's amazing.
Yeah, that's great. Angela's saying, woohoo, Box Van D in the house. That's great, man. It's nice to have these celebrities coming in. It's wonderful. Yeah. So talk to me a little bit. So you look like going to be traveling more at some point. I mean, we don't know when things are going to open up. That's the whole thing. I feel like it's more depressing.
As soon as I can get on a motorbike and travel, I'm gone.
Yeah.
I'm going to be on wheels. That's the way I like to roll. I don't like. I get itchy feet, and I want to go and see something else.
Yeah. And Nomad Land is what chocolate.
Yeah, Nomad Land.
All right, cool. You've seen it probably.
Yeah, that's how I met. That's how I met James from Chocolate Man in Thailand. He was already subscribed to my channel because he's in the van life. And then I started subscribing to his channel, and then I put 2 and 2 together. I'm like, wait a second, this is the same person. That's how we connected.
Yeah. James has got a lot of different interests going on there. I feel like I see him on live chats for Columbia live streams and stuff. I'm like, is that James?
Yeah.
It's great. Yeah, checking out all the different places. That's crazy. Awesome. I want to kind of start to wrap things up a little bit, Kevin. You've been a great guest. I've so enjoyed our conversation, man. I feel like we've talked about everything here, from, you know, your finance channel to your military career, 20 years in the military, to being a lawyer. Hopefully your mom enjoyed the questioning today.
Yeah, I'm sure she did. She's my biggest fan.
Awesome. Well, thanks for coming on the show, man. I got a great little surprise outro for you, wanted to play you out with. And You're welcome back anytime, man, please. And let me just clear this banner out of the way. But yeah, thanks a lot for coming on. Thanks for bringing in all your awesome fans as well. It's nice seeing new faces in the chat.
Yeah, thanks for having me, man. It's been awesome.
All right, talk to you later. Bye.
Yep.
What a great guest, Kevin. I really enjoyed having him on the show. So much to talk about. And I'll tell you, I've really been enjoying watching his van life videos. So anyone that might be interested in the Thailand life that he's been doing lately, go back and check out the van life videos. Wow. Some incredible interviews of other people enjoying the van life. So I just really loved it. You know, he's got 168 videos. There's something for everyone on that channel. So go check it out. So we're going to kind of switch gears a little bit, take a quick little intermission break. I'm going to refill my beverage here, and we'll come back with everyone's favorite vlogger news. So we'll take this little intermission break. We'll be right back. Man, I tell you, I got to make those intermission videos a little bit longer. Seems like 1 minute's just not long enough. I got to do stuff outside of here. I got to switch my green screen up. I didn't do that in time, but I can do that now. That's okay. Professional courtesy. I can switch it now. Awesome. So everyone's favorite is vlogger news. But before I get into vlogger news, let's go to the chat and see what everyone's talking about here. Because got Mr. Mitch saying, get busy living or get busy dying. Nikki Dunn's having a great time saying, woohoo. Jay East in the chat here for us. Nice to see you there, Jay East. Darlene caught the end. Good job, Kevin. Great. Well, definitely you can catch the replay and watch the whole interview or just rewind back now. Whatever you like. YouTube, you can go back, fast forward, whatever. And then RV Adventure Gal says adios from Utah. Yeah, a lot of great people in here. So thanks very much for checking out my channel today and checking out the interview with Kevin. Really appreciate that. That was an easy one. So much to talk about, though. I feel like we're kind of under the gun to get it all in. And Jay East is saying we need Mr. Mitch on soon to share his move to Thailand. Ooh, that's actually a nice idea to get Mr. Mitch on. Mr. Mitch, we got to talk after this live show. Awesome. That's great. So everyone's favorite is vlogger news. I got some really interesting vloggers to talk about today. So I can't wait to share some of the new ones with you that I've found so far. So let's cue the intro for vlogger news and let's get this party started.
Hello, this is Mr. Egg from the Pattaya, and this is Vlogger News on the Reeshard Travel Live Show.
Great vlogger news. So gonna have a new channel here for you here. What's Doing Biz? So I love this guy. So this, you want to get in early on a YouTube channel, this is the one to get in on. The guy has about 100 subscribers, but talk about motivational videos. This is the channel to go to check this out. This guy is just great. Love his stuff. This particular video is titled "What Started Triggering My Depression This Week." So it's not depressing like it may sound. It's actually very uplifting. I actually listened to a couple of this guy's videos to kind of get me going middle of the week for me when I'm really feeling the stress and the pressure. I'll listen to one of his videos. I just love it. Like really speaks to me. I think he's living in somewhere in Singapore now, and he grew up in San Francisco. I've actually left a couple comments on his YouTube channel on some of his videos, but I thought what might be nice is actually show a little bit of one of his videos because I just love this guy. I'm watching everything a couple times. So take a quick little 20-second look at this. We'll come right back.
Decisions you made when you were 13, 21, 26, whatever it is, that doesn't make you who you are right now. I allowed that one thing to snowball into so many more things. Look how quickly you can change. Look how quickly it can just shift from being, I'm so positive, to I'm feeling flat and negative. That's depression. So how do I get out of it? How do I get to a positive mindset. I have a little conversation with myself. You're done feeling sorry for yourself? Start walking. I don't feel like walking. I don't feel like doing anything. Okay, but that doesn't mean you can't get up and start walking. This is how you do it. Get up and just get after it. Get up.
I just love that. I mean, it's like stuff that we all need to hear to kind of get us going. He actually got me out walking today. So I was kind of like working on the videos, stuff like this, heads down, working in my actual job. And I was just like, I'm just going to relax, watch some TV. I listened to his video again because I was looking to piece some of it out. And I went out and walked myself for about an hour and a half. So thank you for that. So I just love that channel. Really great video. If you want to be inspired, just watch a couple of those. Really great. He's a really great storyteller. So I feel like just inspirational. He's a real guy too. He's not going to like, he's not one of these guys that's always positive. He's going to tell you like, hey, listen, I had a bad day yesterday. Let me tell you what happened to me and how I got out of it. I think that's stuff that we could all use now during the crazy times that we're in. We're all going through hard times. So it's nice to see someone that's going through a hard time and how they got out of it. So I just really loved his videos, and I definitely would say maybe consider checking him out. He's got 100 subscribers. I'm sure he'd love everyone going over there and considering just subscribing. So, and Paul is saying, I'm in Denver, but want to make a change, stop working and start traveling. I know that's a sweet car you got there, Paul. But yeah, I feel like that's what everyone wants to do, is kind of enjoy life and have a quality life. So yeah, definitely that's the plan, right? For most people. Next up on the Vlogger News is Le Pattaya. So I really enjoyed this video by Phil, Mr. Egg. This one is titled The Curse of Bali High Pier. And anyone that's been to Pattaya knows there's a pier in Pattaya that's pretty famous. Just Phil has got so many great stories he can tell. I really love listening to these videos that kind of go back a little bit in time and then give you the current situation, what's going on. I really enjoyed this one. I actually watched it twice. I enjoyed it so much. Sometimes I'll do that. If the story's compelling, I'll go back and watch it a second time a couple days later. So really love what's going on with Phil's channel. He's doing some live streams. He's a business owner in Pattaya, so he's doing live streams to help sort of keep the business going there, keeping everyone interested. But then he's doing these great edited videos where he talks about, the past of Pattaya and all the history that he's so knowledgeable on. So I really appreciate this video. It was really great. Really enjoyed this one. And actually, Phil's coming on the show in a couple weeks. Actually 2 weeks. So keep that in mind. We'll be talking about the Bali High Pier. And another great video this week was from Thai Girl Gift and Foreigner Joe. So another trip back to the doctor. But this one, he made a pit stop in Hua Hin and met up with Johnny There Is Something Happening and Som and Title. So the family that is Johnny There Is Something Happening. And it's a great video. They had a lunch at an Italian restaurant. Looked like it was great food. I definitely feel for Joe going through what he's going through here. So those that don't know, Foreigner Joe, American living in, I think it's Phetchaburi, Thailand, and had a motorbike accident and hurt his ankle, his leg. So luckily didn't break anything, but the abrasion got infected. So he's been really dealing with that. And luckily he got to keep the foot, because I'll tell you, it was kind of touch and go there for a while. So he's recovering from that, but he's going back to the doctor to get the bandages changed. And it's really interesting to see him really have to deal with that. But the great thing is with the time change of the show recently is, I told you we had some positives and some negatives, but one person that loved the new time change was Foreigner Joe and Thai Girl Gift. So they loved it so much so that they're coming on the show in a couple weeks. So they're going to be coming back for their second time. Foreigner Joe and Thai Girl Gift coming on, and I'll show you the schedule a little bit later after Vlogger News. But really enjoyed this video. So, the home is complete there. They're living in the new home in Hua Hin, or not in Hua Hin, in Phetchaburi, I believe it is. And Mr. Mitch, let me know if I'm saying the right city. I hate it when I don't have Phetchaburi. Thank you, James. Appreciate that. Get the wrong. Joe would not be happy. Hear me say the wrong city. Get it right, man. Get it right. And then another channel that kind of started watching just the other day was one that YouTube served up for me, Banana Thai. So it's a great channel if you're looking to refresh or begin your Thai language skills. So I'm looking to kind of refresh. I've been out almost 2 years now, and my Thai is horrible. It used to be pretty good, but now it's not so good. So I found this channel. It's great. I actually reached out to her to see if she wants to come on the live show, and we'll see if we can kind of get her on. But great channel for learning Thai language pretty easily. And she has a whole website you can sign up for as well. Not expensive. So pretty cool little channel that she's got there. I appreciated a couple of videos that I watched. And then Brian Flowers. So the funniest video of the week, at least for me, was one that Brian did titled, "I've had enough. I'm going to Pakistan." And it's a joking video because he's having some problems in business. Brian Flowers is an entrepreneur in Pattaya, business owner of 26 plus bars and a Muay Thai gym or two in that area. And he's just kind of venting a little bit about the property owners that he's having to work with. So I don't want to steal a thunder of the video because I loved it so much. I laughed my ass off. I texted Brian saying this is the best video ever because it was just, I think it was something was eating him and he decided to just turn on the camera and just record. So you get to see him in the moment kind of venting, and it was really great. So I really appreciate that one from Brian. So Brian, high five. That was a great video, man. Really appreciated that one. And then one other one that I want to talk about was Thailand 365. So this is actually a new channel that's actually doing live streams, something different, 24/7. So you can go to this channel 24/7. There's always going to be someone on there. You can go on there yourself and do, a live stream, talk on their channel. I've been on there a couple times, and I'll tell you, I don't know much about the channel, but I can tell you that everyone's always welcomed me very nicely, been very friendly to me, met a lot of nice people there, very welcoming. So it's nice to have a place where you go there. There's no trolls allowed on that channel. It's kind of just, talking shop and, no disparaging comments, please, type of thing. Let's keep it professional. Great channel. So I would say if you haven't checked out Thailand 365, maybe go take a look at it. Consider subscribing to it. They could use some additional subscribers, but a fun live stream channel. So I really appreciated that one. And I like the fact that the guys really welcomed me kind of with open arms there. So I really appreciated being on there the couple times that I've been on there. Let me go to the live chat. I think Chocolate Man in Thailand was saying he was dying when he watched this. Hope everyone picked up the thick sarcasm. So Brian's got that great sarcasm humor that I loved on that. That was so great. And that's why I was laughing. Like when I was watching that from Brian, I'm like, man, spot on. It's not a long video. It's on the shorter side for some of his videos. But I just really loved it. And let's see. Haley is saying that she met Spook. I think it's Smook from Banana Thai on the dance floor. She's awesome. So that's great. Maybe Hailey put in a nice word for me. I'm going to try to have her on the show. She's great. Great channel there. So Haley knows everybody. It's so great. And let's see. Jay East is saying 30 to wake up. Great interview. Thank you, Jay East. Kevin was a great guest to have on for sure. So let me go ahead and wrap up the vlogger news part. Let's get back to the live chat where all the good stuff's happening. And we'll chat a little bit more. Let me get rid of this comment. And we will be back in just about 20 seconons.
Thailand Rob here, and that's all this week in Vlogger News. Please return your seats and tray tables to their upright position. And thank you for flying Recharge Travel.
Great. Well, thank you, Kobus, for saying you're going to check out Thailand 365. I appreciate that for everyone that kind of goes and takes a look. It's just kind of fun to see, people talking, having a nice conversation. Everyone's welcome all the time. I really appreciate that. Carlos Thailand was saying Brian was talking about the Pakistan thing a few days before he made the video. Cool the way he turned it into inspiration for a video. Yeah, I just man, he's so good at that kind of stuff. He's really taken his game up like next level with the green screen and stuff and the topics that he's covering. Really appreciate that. And then for those that aren't familiar with Carlos Thailand, if you want to see some great videos, go to Carlos Thailand. He's got some great hiking videos, nature videos. You name it, he's doing it. So go check it out because Carl's been on the show once before. We got to try to have Carl back because he's got a lot of great stories. Ooh, that guy's got a lot of great stories and a lot of great videos on his channel. So go take a look at that if you get a chance. And let's see, Brock is saying, Richard, geriatrics probably won't be allowed on Thailand 365. I know, I kind of feel like I'm on the upper end of the age bracket there for getting on there. Luckily, nobody really shows their face on that channel. You throw your avatar and just go and talk, that kind of stuff. So, yeah, what are you going to do? What are you going to do? And then Nikki Dunn saying, Mr. Mitch, enjoy your food. Have a great weekend. And Owen saying that Carl does great videos, very underrated channel. That's what I feel like. He's due to have like 100,000 subscribers, that guy, because the kind of videos he's making, it's inspirational stuff. So one thing that Carl talks a lot about is the fact that he was able to lose a bunch of weight just by hiking in these parks, living in more of a healthier lifestyle versus just kind of sitting on a bar stool. So very inspirational stuff. It makes you think like, where else can I go within Thailand? James Chuckleman in Thailand saying Carl's Thailand so underrated. Go see the beauty of Thailand on his channel now. Got to listen to James too. What James says you got to do. He's the chocolate man of Thailand now. He's back, baby. And then Carl is saying, thanks to Owen. Yeah, Carl, you deserve all the kudos, man. And Mr. Mitch says, Carl's a genuine guy. Love his content. He does a lot of great stuff on that channel, which is very, very nice to see. Kevin Chang Noi says, I have beer. Good for you. I'm enjoying a little alcoholic beverage here myself. Would love to know in the chat what you guys think of the new Showtime. How's this working for you? This is better. This is worse. I didn't see many people from Australia, but maybe it'll take a couple of times for the word to get out that this is right in the middle of the day for Australia. I was wondering if Capio might make the live stream, but he may check out the replay. I saw him on that Thailand 365 live stream a couple hours before my show, but it's very late. I think it was maybe 1 o'clock in the morning there. He's probably looking to go to sleep. Nikki Dunn with it's an embarrassed face. Not sure what that is. And yeah, Chocolate Man Thailand saying he was dying when he saw that one. And then Paul was saying, any other places to rent monthly in Pattaya that is not the flood zone that you could recommend? So my biggest thing, I got to remember never to sit back. I tend to relax, sit back, and then the mic can't hear me. So Paul, I'll tell you, my favorite place in the Chonburi area is Jom Tien. I had a condo in Butale Ha, Jom Tien, for a year and loved it. So, if you're in a condo on the high floor, you're going to be good. That didn't actually have an underground parking garage. It was above ground. And Jom Tien doesn't really tend to flood as much, at least from what I've seen, as Pattaya. So my favorite areas to stay is in Jom Tien. It's still close to Pattaya, which is where a lot of the boat tours leave. But it's also a cool dock in Jom Tien that you could go out to the islands on as well. So that would be my words of wisdom, is maybe look at Jom Tien, either like on an Airbnb or just go to condos at Jom Tien. They rent monthly. So I think there's one, Pattaya.com is like they do Jom Tien condos and then Pattaya condos as well. But yeah, Jom Tien's kind of a nice place for me. I really love that. And David Kennedy saying, love this time, Richard, great for Aussies. I know, and I feel like David Kennedy was one of the early ones to come on my live streams way back in the day when I first started out. We kind of lost him there for a while because of the time frame. So for those that don't know, when I first started the live streams, I was doing them Friday evenings around 4 or 5 o'clock in the evening Pacific time. So that worked out pretty well for a lot of people. And then I pivoted more to Saturday mornings. But this works out pretty good for me because I'm able to get awake, get some caffeine, get all my work done for the day, and then get the show, all the videos loaded in. So it works pretty good for me. And Dave is saying perfect timing in Perth. So we got another Aussie coming in. That's awesome. And Jace is saying midnight on the East Coast. I know it's getting pretty late there. Got to wrap things up here soon. People are going to start falling asleep. And Mr. Mitch saying lots of choices. And Brock was saying the new Showtime caught me out. I left the house and went shopping. That's okay. You made part of it, Brock. Still count as one person in the live chat. That's great. And just had a whole bunch of chat messages come in here. Kevin was saying that he's on Pacific time, so it's great for me. That's great. Works for him. And Nikki is saying after 5 a.m. here, but I love your stream. Well, thank you, Nikki, for waking up early to listen in. I know it's pretty early there in the UK, so probably started at 4 a.m. Now it's after 5. So thanks for waking up early. Maybe take a nap in the afternoon. The good thing is it's Saturday, so you can kind of take a nap in the afternoon time, which is good. And thank you, Steve. Appreciate that. And Jay is saying Butale, Jom Tien. Yep, that is a good place. I like the Butale. And we go down here to the bottom. I got a lot of. And then Paul D is saying perfect timing for Victoria, about 2:19 p.m. That sounds great. Steve B. All right, Australia. So got a lot of Aussies coming in. That's great. And then Nikki says she's going to bed after. That's great. That's great. And then Jay is saying maybe Bangshan might be a good area as well. That's where Lucas actually first started living when he first came over to Thailand. That's a nice little area as well, too. So Jay East knows his stuff. And then Mr. Mitch is saying, go to Airbnb, search condos, and find the place and walk in and ask to see a room. Skip the middleman. Serious deals can be had. That's nice. That's good advice, Mr. Mitch. Appreciate that. Very good. Cool. Well, I want to kind of wrap things up a little bit here, guys. Get to my Friday night. But I want to thank everyone that came in the live show today. I had a great conversation with Kevin. It's really fun. It was cool that Chocolate Man in Thailand graced us with his presence to kind of talk about the name change back to Chocolate Man in Thailand. So if you happen to come into the live show late, we did have Chocolate Man in Thailand, James Casino, on at the first couple minutes of the live show. So you can go back and check out his little interview that we did, kind of special secret guests that we had coming on there. So I'm actually taking a week off next week. Let me show one banner before I kind of end things up here, and that is the schedule. So for those of you that don't know, next week is actually a scheduled break from the live show. So sorry about that, guys. I changed the time and now I'm taking a week off. I wanted to be mindful of this ahead of time and kind of carving out week breaks. So we wouldn't have to take a month break, just take a week off and then come back with another 4 to 6 weeks of shows. So next week's actually a break from the show. Unless I hear too much grief, then I'll have to do something. But after that, then we have the schedule coming up as follows. So we have Mr. Egg coming on September 25th. Then we got 20 Seconds in Thailand Rob. Then Icy, That's My Style, is coming back to the show on October 9th. And then Thai Girl, Gift, and Foreigner Joe are coming on October 16th. And we have more coming up after that. So if you want to be a guest on the show, feel free to email me at reeshardtravel@gmail.com. We got a full schedule of guests coming on. I'm just going to take 1 week break next week to kind of rest and relax, maybe work on some new videos for the show and kind of go from there. But I want to say thanks for everyone that tuned in today. I'll see you in 2 weeks, and goodbye, everybody.